Sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Tunya back again. This time we've got a game review. And just before we start, I will say that I was given this code for review, but they're not going to review it before it goes up. All I have to do is just basically post the review after it's gone live. So I can say whatever I want. So this is Citizen Shockman Zero, or Kaizo Chojin Shibubiman Zero. This was originally a SNES game on the satellaview satellite download system. They did release quite a few games on that system. You literally had to, I think you had to stay up at a certain time of the day or the night, and you had to set the system up, and it would download over an hour or two to the actual system box underneath the Famicom. I've never seen one. But anyway, this is the fourth game in the series. It was originally a PC Engine series, so you basically have 1, 2, and 3 on the original PC Engine. So apparently, from what I've been reading as well, is this version. I thought it had something to do with the other ones, but apparently there's 2 new people in this one. So they're not the original protagonists from the other games. So you have a choice of playing the original Japanese release or the modern sort of English release. They haven't updated the game, it's just in English essentially. So let's get into this. So before we start the game, we'll run through the options. So you have your control setup, so you can basically set whatever you want. You can have turbo on the attack and things like that. Plus, the interesting thing in here is you can set a button for debug menu and set a button for the flag editor. But we'll get into that. You see the flag editor can basically, it's more like the debug menu that the programmers probably used when they were when they were testing this game. So you can get into all that, which is quite nice. So in the video options, there's a couple of video options in here, but I'm using the 4.3 DAR, which is more like the original SNES display, so where it's not perfect square pixels. Pixels are a bit longer and wider than squares, and it fills the screen. There's also a 1.1 PAR version, which is square pixels, but it's stretched a little bit to fill the screen. And then you've got a perfect mode, which is basically perfectly square pixels. And then you've got a 1x mode, which is the original resolution of the SNES one, which should be interesting to play on a 4K telly. And then for all your nutters out there, you've got the full screen stretch version. So up to you wherever you want to use it. You've also got a couple of different color options. You can do the standard red, green, and blue, or then you can change it. So if you got problems with color blindness or whatever, you might be able to change this to make this game a little bit better for you. So that's quite nice to have them options. We do have shader options. So as you can see here, we've got a blurred CRT filter with scan lines, which basically domes the edges. Basically, if I start this game up, I start up and let it go for a second. As you can see, it's really bilinear filtering, so it's like real blurry. To be honest, it looks like crap. I don't like that setup. You may like it, and if that's your bag, happy days. But personally, I don't like it. You've got an arcade glow, which is a bit sharper, and it tries to produce that glow that CRTs do, but without the scan lines. It's okay. You've got a vengeful CRT, which is like a shadow mask on top of it with blur, which pretty much looks terrible as well. And you've got a Same Boy LCD, which is supposed to be like Game Boy LCD, which, to be honest, don't look half bad. It's not too bad. I think if I was going to use any of the scan lines options, I'd probably use the LCD option, but not ideal. I wish that they would just give us that and allow me to put scan lines on it without any blurring, without any warping of the screen. But I don't know, no one apart from M2 seems to get that for some reason, I don't know why. But anyway, that's my little rant about scan lines. But apart from that, there's plenty of options here, if you get what I'm saying. You do have a couple of filters. You can turn the filter off, which is basically no interpolation or anything. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. The crispy and the soft filter have got an interpolation added to them. At least I think that's what's added to them. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm going to use the crispy filter. And so that's your video options basically. In the cheats options, which is quite nice, you've got them. You've got invincibility, one hit kills, so basically you can kill all the bosses and enemies in one hit. You've got an easy mode sort of info. You've got Altern to give you info about all the extra stuff you can do. But this involves in the debug and the flag menu. So once you set a button to that, you can get into all these options and add loads of extra different cheats to it. Game revisions, you can play the original 1997 one, or you can play the latest one we got now, so we're going to stick to the English version. You do have rewind and forward, so at different speeds. At least you can change that speed here if you want to. I will leave it at 1. And then you can reset all the options. There is 6 load states per game, basically, so you can play through it and save and load wherever you want. So that's pretty much your options now, so we're going to get out of that. And then we're going to start the game up. Let's get into it. So what I will say is the original free PC Engine games, I don't like the first one particularly too much. The second one is better, but the third game is really good on the PC Engine. It's a really fun game. If you ever get a chance to play it, give it a go. It's a CD game, it is. It's not exactly the hardest game in the world, but it is fun to play. And this game is the same. It's a pretty easy game, to be honest. With the free credits, you are going to blast through this pretty quick, but it'll take you a little bit longer to get a 1cc, you know, 1 credit clear out of it. But it is fun to play. If you look on my channel, about quite a few years ago now, probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that, I came across this game on the SNES, and I did a 1cc of it, and I really enjoyed the practicing and everything on this game. So, you attack, you got your punch, you got your jump kick, you have a dragon punch move, which you do like a dragon punch, and you hold the button down and charge to do a fireball, and that's pretty much it on your attacking. So this game is a platform scroll along beat 'em up, essentially. So you've got these characters. You can use the uppercut in a combo, but you have to time it, which is a bit tricky. You have to punch stop and then hope you got enough time basically to do the dragon punch on him. Or you can just do a dragon punch straight away off him. The only problem with the dragon punch, if there's multiple enemies on screen, you will probably get hit by another enemy. But it is quite handy when you're going up through platforms, as you see over there. You do have a life bar in this. You can take 4 hits, but this game does have experience points, essentially. You can't see them, but the further you get through the game, you'll basically level up and you'll get more energy points, basically. Later on in the game as well, you do get a lot of different enemies, and you will need to use that charge. Wait for it to come back and get him. There is a high score, well, not so high score challenge, but there is scoring in this game. So when I played through it and finished it, I ended up getting 33 on the leaderboard. So to play it completely, you're going to have to kill all the enemies, collect all the items that are dropping, try and get first place. There is a lot of achievements as well. You do actually unlock these achievements as you play through the levels. Right, so this is where I'm going to point out, I found a little bit of a flaw in the graphics. It's going to be a bit tricky for you guys whether you see it. So when you walk back and forth here, if you concentrate on the background, you can see lines in the background. So they're like when you have a RGB and old console, you get the weird lines that you have to try and use the components to clear up. So if you look, going back and forth, there's weird lines in the background. And another thing I've noticed, if you look between this platform here and the truck, when I walk back and forth, there's combing artifacts. You can probably see it. You see like lines, like sort of shadowed lines coming up. So the scaling, I've tried messing around with the scaling on this. The scaling is not perfect. You're getting combing artifacts on it. So I don't know what's up with that. I'm assuming they know that there's combing artifacts, so they didn't fix it. So whether it'll get an update to fix, but I probably suspect that they probably won't fix it. The only thing I will say is when you're actually playing the game, you don't sort of notice it so much because you're running, but once you've noticed it, it is always going to be there. So it's a little bit of a shame that the image is not pristine, if you know what I mean. You do have those combing artifacts. I'm not sure what will need to be done to be able to fix that, but you know, it's probably something to do with the emulation. the way they got the video being emulated. This is where the uppercut comes in quite handy. You can pause him by jumping up and getting him. Don't have to kill all the enemies in a screen as well, so as you can see, you can just run past them all if it comes to it. So you could speed run this pretty quick, right? Just getting past all the enemies, even though they will follow you for ages. As I jump past a lot of them. Right, so we're getting not far from the first boss. The bosses in this game are generally two different characters. They keep coming back for more. You beat them and then they come back stronger with different attacks, and they have like different robots and things like that going on. So you basically got the same characters going all the way through it, but they're coming back for more. Apart from the last boss, which is quite different. So I think this is the first boss. Here we go. There she is. There's two characters. You've got this girl and you've got the boy, and they literally just keep coming back one after another. So hopefully I don't get hit too much. As I get hit twice again. That was lucky. Need one more hit and I would have died. So that's the first boss, pretty easy. One thing I'd say about this, with the translated version, I have no idea what the story is, and the PC Engine one is like super weird. But at least this one you can read the story, and the story is pretty silly. From what I gather, these are like, I think they normally people with cybernetic implants to make them better. And as you'll see now, you've got the professor who give me the implants. He makes some sort of engine, which is that thing in the middle of the screen. And the bad guy tries to pinch it to power his weapons or power himself. And you've got to try and stop him and get the engine back. The cutscenes as well can't be paused, as you see. I'd say they can be paused, so you can't be skipped. That's what I meant to say, sorry. They can't be skipped. So, but you can use the forward. Basically, you can just hold down the forward and speed through the cutscenes, which is quite handy. Once you've played this game a couple of times, you'll just want to skip them anyway. It would have been nice if they'd added a skip to the cutscenes, but I suppose they would have to go in there and change the original game if that was the case. So, second level. Here we go. Get in the museum. We're in the cabinets. The down kick is not particularly great. I say with the experience points, I'm not sure whether it's like level based or basically enemy based. So the more enemies you kill, the more your XP goes up. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure how it actually works. You always end up towards the end, you end up with maybe twice as much on the NG bar. See, I'm trying to do the uppercut on him there, and I died. You do get free credits, and if you take your time, you will blast through this game quite easy. It's not particularly very hard, but it'll take you a couple of games of practice on it to get a 1cc. But it is a fun game. It's one of those games on the SNES that every now and then I'll come back and play. I'm going to use my fireballs for here. NCS Messiah were the company who actually made this. They made some really cool games in the 16-bit era. They made some good, interesting shoot-em-ups as well. Gainog on the Mega Drive. See, I'm rushing this though. I'm trying to get through it fast. Okay, max health. There's 2 health drops you get. All the other health drops are essentially points, but the 2 health drops you get is basically the black battery is your full power. So I'm assuming maybe they're cyborgs as well. And the red battery is gives you 1 block of energy back. So here's the other enemy who keeps coming back for more, and getting more and more powered up all the way through the game. The first time you meet this guy as well, there's a place you can stay, and he's really easy to kill. So I'll show you where that is now. They always do a certain pattern around the levels. So basically, if you jump up here and then you charge, he will always try and jump up and get you. Now we'll run round behind me and jump on, and then try and come back and kill me. You will take more energy off him if you go in there and punch him, as you'll see in a second. Like that. I'll try and uppercut him now and see what happens. Dead. They're a bit more risky when you're doing the uppercut, so I'm going to pause it there. So anyway, yeah, guys, I quite like this series of games, and this fourth game on the SNES is a really fun game. I say it was originally a television, Japanese only, so you know, it's nice that it's come to the West. I say you can choose to download this. Price-wise, I can't see the price on the store because I've already got it. But the email said that it was €6.99. So if that's the case, I'm expecting it to probably be like $6.49 or $5.99 on our store. So at that price, it's pretty cheap to be honest. And that price, I definitely recommend this because it is a fun game. It's not the sort of game you're gonna play for a long time. You'll put it on, you'll do some practice, you'll end up getting a 1cc on it, and then you probably won't play it for a while, but you'll keep coming back to it every now and playing it because it's quite a fun game to play. So yeah, it's cool it's come to the West, and at the price it's come out, which is a pretty good price to be honest. I think it's well worth picking it up. And if you do want a cartridge of this for the Switch, or you want a disc or something, I think they've been sold by the Limited Run Games and Strictly Limited Games, them sort of companies. I think you can get it on them. Plus, a few years ago as well, they did re-release the SNES game on a cartridge, and I'm pretty sure that was translated as well. And I think this is pretty much our translation, but don't quote me on that, I could be slightly wrong. So anyway guys, yep, this is a little bit easy but a really fun game, and I really like the original SNES version, and for £6 it's recommended to pick up. So if you do like the look of it, and you do like sort of classic sort of scrolling platform games and stuff, and I'll pick it up, see what you think. You'll probably enjoy it. It is a fun game. So hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I should be back towards the end of the week with another review. I can't say what it is at the moment, but I need to put some practice in on it and then get a review going for that as well. So guys, hope you enjoyed that, and I shall catch you in the next review. So, bye now.